We are live.
Oh, we are live. Well, hello, the co-op community. I am Deanna Flores, your hostess with the mostest, and this is Miss Jen Kohler, our fearless leader. And we're going to chat with her today on the community chat. I think everybody knows us, so do we need
Pretty
to do the
much.
intro? Yeah, I'm
Let's
Deanna.
let's let's do a little intro.
Okay, Deanna Flores, numerologist. Oh, good Lord. Let me figure out my resume. Tapping, Reiki, master teacher, um, nurse, essential oil mixologist. Like, yeah, I'm dabbling in the crystals these days. There's a whole lot going on. A mom of girls, a girl mom, and a four-legged mom. So that's me. All right, Jen.
I love you. She is amazing. Deanna the Amazing. That's what we're calling
Oh,
you.
thank you. I
And
received.
she's a 3 of clubs.
Oh, yes. I'm a
Very creative.
33-6, my
Mhm.
ruling number. I know what I was going through this the other day in one of the groups. I was like, I'm a 33-6. I have the arrow of the planner, an arrow of frustration, the arrow of activity. I'm a 3 of clubs. Yeah.
You
And
know,
I'm an 11.
it's funny because I have a lot of people who come through my world, you included, who are 33-6s. I wonder
Yeah.
what that's all about.
Creativity. And I
Right?
noticed for me, I noticed the threes has always been a number for me. Threes
Mhm.
since I was young. But I notice when I'm not creating, I'm stuck in my head. Yeah.
Oh god, me too. No kidding. It's
Uh,
like the cure. I like to say it's the cure to the being in the head is really creativity, is creating something, right?
yeah.
And so, but it's hard to remember that you're going to do that if you're
Mhm.
just like spinning around in your mind constantly. Anxiety, worry, overwhelm, all of those things, right? The
Mhm.
cure, the thing that's going to make it all better is like the hardest thing that I can ever think to do. Not really, but
I used to walk around with I don't even know where my little bag is, but I do, hand paper piecing, sewing,
oh
and
wow.
I used to walk around with that little bag in my purse so that when I had time, like at lunch or whatever, I would just kind of and I missed that, so I'm gonna have to toss that back in. Thank you
You
for
are so creative. Look at you. I would never do that.
it's you get out of your head, like, you can't be
Yeah.
with a needle so close to your fingers and not
Yeah.
be in the moment because then you're like, "Ah."
It's like that's a really great activity to get into the moment, right? And to get into the present moment. I love
Yeah.
that. I'm going to find something like that. That's really good.
I'll send you something on Facebook, my paper
Please
piecing
do.
people that I follow. Yeah.
Yeah, please do. I don't know that I'll become a paper piecer, but we'll see.
I'll send you some stuff and we'll get you up and running. Again, you don't even have to make anything out of it. It's just doing the pieces.
I love you.
Like, yeah. And then
It's
I get
so
smaller
funny.
and smaller. I'm like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with me?" Yeah.
Oh, well, if you've never met me yet, I'm Jen Kohler. And I am a master numerologist, and I am a Reiki master teacher. I am a what else do I do? I'm a life and business coach, and I love my life. I love
Right.
helping my clients. I love working with people. I love having conversations. I love communicating with people and helping people. It's really the thing that lights me up. And I'm also a mama. I'm an IVF mama, actually. So I went through years and years of being unable to have a baby. And I have a 9.5, almost 10-year-old now, actually. And his name is Wyatt, and he is amazing. And I live in Iowa, and we're really just living a really great life. It's pretty great.
Yeah. I'm trying to hop into the Facebook group to see.
Can you see the comments from our side?
I cannot. I keep getting the paused group. Let's see. How do
Yeah.
I do that on here? Can I do that on? Oh, there we go. I
There you
don't see.
go.
Oh, there we go. Let's see. Hi, ladies. Oh, everything on mine says Facebook user.
It will. Yeah, people have to go in and like say who they are, but that's okay.
Let
If
me
you
see
want
if
to do that, please feel free to do that. And Deanna and I are just going to come in and have a conversation today. So if you guys have any questions about us or for us, about numerology, about EFT, about coaching in general, like here we are, right? Money
Gardening,
mindset,
whatever you want to do.
paper making. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's Tammy. Hi,
Hi,
Tammy.
Tammy.
So let's just, I mean, you and I, we know we could sit and talk for freaking hours. Like
We
it's,
really could, but Deanna has an agenda.
I do. And I'm
Yep.
very, again, arrow of the planner. Let's do
I love
this.
that. Yeah, I
Okay.
love that. I love that about you.
I can't help it. So my first question for you, Jen, is were you raised in a conscious or spiritual home?
Oh, such a good question. My parents were not religious in any way, shape, or form. They probably, I think they both grew up like either Methodist or Presbyterian or something of that nature. See, I don't even know. And we did not go to church, but I would say that my mom was incredibly spiritual. And she was very conscious, not at my youngest years, but she started doing the work when I was like fourth, fifth, sixth grade. And so I think back on our conversations, and so she really was a very conscious person. My dad has evolved into a very conscious human. He, when I was young, was really stuck in old crappy patterns and all of that kind of stuff, but my mom was definitely like talking about spirituality and from a very spiritual lens, not from a religious lens.
Nice. Well,
Mhm.
and that affects you when you're that young, because
Mhm.
it's like us with our kids now. Like we pull our kids into everything that we're doing, and so
Absolutely.
you had kind of a push forward a little earlier on than those of us that were like in our 40s, like, oh fuck, what's going on? Oh,
Yeah.
I lots of f bombs, lots of profanities. I don't apologize for it. I'm just
Nope.
warning you now.
Just warning you now.
Just warning you. Yeah. So you and I go back quite a few years, and I know your journey, but let's let those of us that haven't really delved in with you know how your journey like really began. Even though you were already getting those spiritual nuggets from your mom, what switched in you to be like, hey, I'm going to open up and really dive
Right.
in with full feet?
Well, my real awakening, I really, excuse me, I think really began at a very young age. And I used to have dreams when I was 6, 7, of past lives that I had lived. Um, I had the same recurring dream for years in a row. And I actually, I'll just say it out loud. I think that in some sort of past iteration, I was Calamity Jane. And I had a lot of really strange experiences as a child, like in the woods, where I just feel like time didn't really exist. I feel like I lived in a dream. And a lot of that for me is my ace of spades. So as a numerologist, I know a lot about my chart, of course. And the ace of spades is really this contract of feeling like the veil feels really thin, right? And so from a very young age, I think that I really knew. I used to have dreams that this was all a dream. I used to have like thoughts that we were living in a dream, like that we were really truly living in a dream, that we were somewhere else. Like I had really interesting thoughts, but I would say that my real true awakening began when I was kind of in my teenage years. And then when I was in my 20s, I went and lived on a commune. And so I got really out there. I started learning about universal law. I started learning about different healing techniques. That was my first introduction into Reiki and some of those other things, and like natural birth and all of that. So I was really pretty conscious, like, or thought I was conscious from a pretty young age. Um, and then when I was in my early 30s, well, actually, let's back up. When Bill and I went and traveled, we went and traveled. I went from Humboldt County, and then we went and traveled for 8 months. And that was a pretty large awakening for me. And then I loved him. And so we were together and we moved to Colorado, and I became a Reiki master, and I became a massage therapist, and I became a doula. And so that was a huge aspect of my awakening. But I think we awaken in so many layers, right?
Yeah.
But
Totally.
that Reiki journey, I mean, that massage, Reiki, doula journey, after living on the commune and all of that, like that really, you know, I
Oh,
know
Reiki will catapult you forward like nobody's business.
it
Woo!
really did too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So next question. What is your vision for the co-op community 2.0?
Huh, that's a great question. My vision for the community is, well, first of all, I really truly believe in unity consciousness. And I receive messages very frequently from from my highest self, we'll say, right? That division is coming to an end. And so having a space for people, and but we have to make it happen. We have to like be a part of it, right? We're on the leading edge. And so my vision has always been to bring people together. I am an emperor. I'm a 4 and a 3. Okay. So I carry both energies of the masculine and the feminine. And I really, truly believe I'm here to build community. I'm here to build community and help people see themselves and have safe space to speak their truth and to speak their mind and to allow themselves to be seen. And so my vision really and truly is for people to feel well and comfortable and see the well-being um and 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 all grow and rise together, right?
Yes. I love that. Really, as a team, we've already talked about, and just to put it out there, it's like this is for everybody. It's not just us
Right.
in this group, and not speaking like a lot of groups are just speaking to you, like
Mhm.
this. And I know, like last week, Mocha, if you're watching, Mocha had put in a comment. I'm like, come on, come on, let's have
Yeah, good.
Tammy's here in the group, and Elaine. I mean, it's open for everybody. I have this every week, and I wanna hear what everybody else is doing. Like, it
Yeah.
for me, it feels really good just to have conversation, like, let's just chat.
Yes, I
Like, yeah,
agree.
and I love picking people's brains, so
Yeah, so all of y'all come on and get on with
yeah.
Deanna and introduce yourself to the group. We
Mhm.
definitely don't want this to be like a preaching at you sort of a space. We
Mm-mm.
will come in and sell ourselves, of course, because we all have amazing things to sell, but we want you to be a part of this community, and that is really the purpose. It is a free Facebook group. We want you to feel free in here to be you, and you know, I think
Right.
that like a lot of things go.
Yes. And the other thing is, like, the competition or competitiveness that we're letting all that go. There's enough for everybody, whatever it is that you're offering, there's
That's right.
enough for everybody, and I really love that concept.
Yeah. I really believe in that very deeply. Leaving behind leaving behind comparison and the judgment and all of those things. It's just it is the way of consciousness. It is the way forward. It is the way towards unity.
Exactly, exactly. So my next question for you is, I know we kind of quickly rattled through like, "Oh, this is my resume, blah, 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 blah."
Yeah.
But, what's in your toolbox?
Mm. Well, so many things, because I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I was a serial fixer for a long time, right? So and like you've got a lot of little titles behind your name, right? Those brought me a lot of joy, actually, because I love to learn and I love to be really good at what I do. And so for me, mastery is really the key for me, and actualizing and integrating the things. So tools that I carry, I mean, I of course am a Reiki master teacher, so I use a lot of Reiki. I am, of course, trained in mastering the brain game. and I am a universal laws certified teacher. So I have a lot of tools in my box. I really love universal law. That's probably one of the most utilized things in my coaching practice in my daily life. I'm a numerologist, so I love numerology, and I feel like numerology and universal law, they go hand in hand. And then quantum expansion. I love Q immensely. It's like Q is just that thing that if you don't have any time to do anything else, do the Q. Right? Like,
it's so quick. That's what I love about
so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm all about vibration. I'm all about the frequency. I'm all about understanding our energy and how we can improve our lives by raising our vibration, because that's really what it's all about. The frequency that we are in dictates our vibration, and the more we are in the frequency that we desire to be in, the higher our vibration. I feel like that's really what it all comes down to. So as far as tools are concerned, I have a lot of them that I use very frequently. And I think numerology is probably my favorite, though. Q and numerology.
I sway back and forth between different things. I'm like, oh, I'm really into the numbers. And I'm like, I miss Reiki. Let me come back over here.
Yeah.
And then, oh, wait, tapping. And yeah, so I use everything at different times or all together,
Yeah, I love them all.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have our toolbox. Now, what are your favorite, your rituals? I know you speak of, you live life as a ritual.
I do
But
live life as a ritual.
Yeah. What are your favorite rituals that you do?
My first favorite ritual is coffee. That would probably be my most number one favorite time of day, is first thing in the morning after I have gotten up, and I start the coffee maker, and I do meditation. I meditate, and then I get a cup of coffee, and I sit on my couch and I journal, and I like feel the heat of the cup, and it doesn't matter what season it is. I like love it all equally. So ritual of the beverage first thing in the morning after meditation. So ritual that I perform regularly: meditation, quantum expansion, Reiki, journaling, reading. I love just sitting in silence with my coffee. What else do I do? Chanting. I love to chant and use my voice, use my throat. So those are some of my big ones. I also love to walk, and I have added in jazzercise 3 times a week as part of my ritual. And that has been very powerful for me, actually, because I don't think of myself as being a good dancer. And it really challenges my brain to do jazzercise.
So do you do it at home, like online, or do you go to an actual studio?
I go to a studio and I do it with people, and I never feel like I'm getting it right. It's like there's something in my brain that's like doesn't feel like I'm a good dancer. And so I go and I love it so much, and I really think it integrates my brain. It's so amazing. It's sort of like EFT, but like, moving my body.
I love that. I sing, and I don't care if it sounds good, but I freaking will belt some stuff out, and I'm like,
I love
"Whoa,"
singing.
but I like that. It's exactly the feeling you're talking about. It does something for my soul.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The jazzercise actually really feeds my soul, because I do it with 2 of my best friends. And I'm getting movement, and I'm not moving to lose weight. I am moving to feel vital and strong in my body. And I am doing it to have a great long life. And it helps me to move my energy so beautifully. I love it so much.
It's funny, I think of movement again, exercise is a bad word for me, but I think of movement more as it helps shake off that negativity. I don't know what
Yeah.
it is, but it just that reminds me of, like, friends when they were running,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is totally what jazzercise does for me.
Yeah. So you said you go with your BFFs to jazzercise. So where do you go for support? I know you provide a lot of support to other people, but where do you go for that support?
That's such a great question, Deanna, because, my friend Michelle asked me this question earlier today. How are you taking care of yourself? And I'm like, well, maybe I'm not always taking the best care of myself, right? Like I'm really good at preaching, taking good care of ourselves, but sometimes I don't get the support or I don't get all of my needs met. And so it's something that I've always had to work on. So definitely not perfect in that regard. But where do I get my support from? I have amazing people around me, truly. And I do have an amazing mentor. And so I actively work with Joy, and that is a main source of support for me. And I have all of you, like I have all of you people in this space, in this community, and I have amazing humans in my life. Like I have a really outstanding group of friends who are all therapists.
Oh, wow. How do you
Uh-huh.
feel enough, right?
Yeah. So like I really have a lot of beautiful, beautiful, loving support around me. Moving to Iowa allowed me to be close to like 6 of my very closest friends in the world. And
Nice.
it's been really powerful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you talked about self-care. Michelle asked you, like, are you taking care of yourself?
Uh-huh.
Well, I feel like support and self-care are kind of those circles that overlap. What do you
Mhm.
do for self-care? Like, I know we talked about ritual, but how is that different than self-care?
To me, my ritual is a self-care. It is a form of self-care. If I'm not doing it, then I know that something is missing for me in the self-care department.
Mhm.
Self-care for me means that I am creating spaciousness in my life.
Oh, I
Because if I don't have spaciousness, then I feel overwhelmed.
like
And overwhelm is really just a state of mind, right? But it's real when you're experiencing it.
right.
And sometimes so if I'm not creating that spaciousness in my life, then I know that I am not taking the best care of myself. I'm not prioritizing myself. I'm prioritizing everything outside of me and not just me. And I'm really good at prioritizing everyone else outside of me and not always prioritizing myself. I'm also very good at prioritizing myself. So it's just like a balancing act, right? It's like the juggle,
Mhm.
and sometimes I fall through the cracks, right?
Yeah.
I love to float. Oh god, I love to float. That is like one of my most favorite things. I love to sauna. I love being in water. I don't love exercising, but I love going to jazzercise. I love walking.
Mm.
I love to sit on my couch and read a good book, you
Oh,
know.
actually, that's my next question.
Oh, good, excellent. I'm reading a great book.
I have my little list right here on my phone. So what book are you currently reading?
So right now I'm reading The Surrender Experiment. I think that's
Mm.
or The Surrender Project. The Surrender Experiment is what I think it is. It's by Michael Singer. He's the same person that wrote Untethered and or the Untethered Soul or whatever. And I have been if you've been following me for any amount of time, you'll know that my nephew died a couple of years ago. And I have just been experiencing a lot of grief lately. And his anniversary was present with us, and I've just been in it. And in the grief of it, and really like I was just sitting in the grief of it and not really loving everything about my life. And so I had this book was recommended to me. And so I started reading it. And so I'm only like 3 or 4 chapters into it, but I'm enjoying it so far. And it's really truly about surrender, which I'm really good. I notice that when I'm in grief that I'm really want to control
Ah.
and not let go.
Grief is kind of the thing right now. It's an overlapping theme that I've had with other conversations with my other
Oh,
spiritual
really?
sisters. Yeah, there's a lot of grief going on, and not necessarily from actual physical death, but death of, relationships and marriages and
Mhm.
jobs and all the things like that's
Yeah.
kind of the ongoing theme right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The book is The Surrender Experiment.
It's funny you say it's just surrender. So those of you that don't know, I've known Jen for many years and we've worked together a lot. And she would always be like, just surrender, just be. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, again, I'm going, like this is me full force constantly.
It's
That's
true,
me.
you are.
Emotion, I'm in
You are.
constant motion. And if I'm not in motion physically, in my head, I'm in motion. There's always something. And I just for years, you would always tell me, like, just surrender, just be.
Because that
Just
made you so happy.
and I'm like, fuck, could you explain to me I'm even spitting right now. What does that mean? Like, I don't understand. And of course, the amazing Joy and Jonah in a session was like, it's like floating in the pool. And I was like, that's it? Like, I could so fucking do that. Like, hello.
Right.
But yeah. And so now when you say you like to float, you like to be in the water, you like
Oh,
that's so
yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Because
that's
it helps me to surrender. This is
yeah.
why I love it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and you can't float and being stuck in your head because you're gonna sink.
Right. I had a great moment of surrender many years ago that I I still I think of often. And I was in a moment where I was really learning. It was like 2015 or 2016. And I was like, I am going to learn how to surrender. This is happening. And so I was on a ski trip and I'm at the top of a ski hill and I'm skiing down and I have I think I had like a 3-year-old at this point, maybe a 2-year-old, and I had not skied in like a few years, so I was a really good skier, and then I was like had a baby and like not done it. I was not feeling myself, so I'm up on this mountain and I'm like, this is really hard, and I'm like, oh my god, and I'm like working actively in personal growth at this point. And I'm on the top of this mountain and I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm going to fucking get down this hill and I'm going to do it and I'm going to do it well. It's going to be amazing. And so I just start skiing down. And the whole way I'm like flying down this mountain and I'm screaming, I surrender. And
Oh,
I mean, there was like a lot of people skiing, and they're all like looking at me as I'm screaming, coming down the mountain, I surrender.
who is this crazy woman screaming?
It's like one of
Yes.
my favorite midlife conversations.
I love that though. Again, and everybody has their own way. So those of you, I see somebody right here surrendering so hard, Elaine.
Mhm.
Yes. For me, it was very hard for many years to figure this out. This has been, and I do the Gen Ways like, oh my God, just surrender. Like,
Surrender.
for years, it would almost get frustrated, like, fuck, what does that mean? I don't get
Uh-huh.
it.
Mhm.
But yeah, surrendering is hard. It's not hard anymore so I had that call with Joy
Uh-huh.
literally in the morning, and in the afternoon, I put my bathing suit on, I walked my ass next door because I love my fucking neighbors are like family to me, hopped in their pool, and I was like, "Wow."
And then you were like, I get it.
But it took me like, I just hopped in the pool and I floated, and I just and again, it was just okay, this is that feeling in my body, and I could literally close my eyes and float. I don't have to physically be in a pool anymore. And
Right.
so when calling that in, it's really easy to call in. So Elaine, when you figure out what it is that you need to surrender, like Jen wants to go crazy down a hill on some skis and scream like a crazy woman, which is awesome because she's just releasing and letting it go. I'm curious, those of you that are in the group, and if you're watching the replay, let us know, like, what is surrender to you, and how do you surrender? Because that, again, I've worked with you for so many years, and we've been friends for so many years, but it just took one person in a 2-sentence conversation to flip it for me.
It's Jonah.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was Jonah.
Yeah.
Jonah was like, just float in the pool, Deanna.
That
Right.
was it. Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
it did make it really simple. When you told me that, I was like, oh, wow, I should have been saying that for years.
But floating to you at the time wasn't necessarily a surrender.
Right.
And
I mean, I didn't equate the two things. No. Mm-mm.
for me, skiing, I don't snow ski. Now, if you tell me to water ski, I'll be like, "Oh, sure, okay, oh, yeah." Like, I could probably get that feeling there if I'm not eating shit, but yeah, yeah. So, next question. What is your favorite quote?
Oh, my favorite quote is, "In order to thrive, you must decide."
Oh, I like
And I don't know who said it. It's just something that's been in my brain for many years, and I say it a lot. Or also, when you're in alignment with self, everything will fall away or fall into place. Those are my two favorite things to say.
yeah, that one when I think of that, like, people are either gonna stay with you or fall away or, circumstances that I always think of you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. For me, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no.
Right. So good.
There's so much going on. I'm like, "Is it a hell yes?" Yeah. So, all right, rapid fire. Are you ready?
Yeah,
This
I'm ready because I got to pick up a kid soon.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. What are you currently celebrating?
I am celebrating that I just sold one of my VIP intensives this morning. Woohoo! To a brand new person who'd never met me before. I
Awesome.
know, right?
We're gonna talk about that later offline. Okay.
Okay.
Right now, what's your current guilty pleasure? And I don't mean guilty, but I mean, what are you loving right now?
I am Netflixing a show called Dairy Girls.
Dairy Girls.
Uh-huh. It's like it's like Ireland during like the period of time when they were really battling one another, the Protestants and the Catholics. And it's
Oh,
like a total teenage like show. It's so cute. It's really good. I really like it.
oh, I might have to watch that with my girls.
Yeah,
Um,
I bet they'd like it.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee,
Chocolate or vanilla?
vanilla.
And we already talked about your current book. Are you a book person or an Audible?
I love audibles, but I love a good book physically in my hands. And I
Both.
feel like when I listen to audibles, they sort of go in one ear and out the other, but I do love audibles. I have like 12 million of them, but I love a physical book. I think I learn better that way.
Well, I mean, your commute is what, a minute?
I
So
don't
you
have a commute. Yeah, there's no commute.
I love Audible because I have a commute.
Right, because you're commuting.
I have a 15-mile commute that can take like an hour to an hour and a half. So yeah, I love Audible.
Yeah,
Um,
it's good.
Current favorite podcast?
Um, my current favorite podcast. I I'm not I like podcasts. I don't have a favorite one that I'm listening to right now, actually.
Okay.
I've been really more listening to Audible than listening to podcasts.
Okay. I actually been listening to Jules, our lovely Jules, Juliana Linder. I don't know if you've
Yes.
heard. Yeah, she does a lot of like that self-sabotage stuff. Like I just love listening to her. And again, she's a good friend of mine and I love her to
She's
death.
amazing. Yeah.
But yeah, if you get an opportunity, reach out to Jules, listen to she's on Spotify. I'm like, dang girl.
That's amazing, and she invited me on her podcast. I'm
Oh,
gonna
do
go
you
on her
have a podcast?
podcast. Yeah.
Have you gone on?
I'm going to she invited me to come on it. I put out a post yesterday that said, "I wanna be on everybody's podcast. Like, tell me how to get on your podcast." And,
Oh,
like,
perfect.
I had, like, 25 responses because people
Awesome.
have podcasts and they want guests. So, it's a great way to get visible when you have a really great message.
And she does, she does. Again, there's somebody for everybody and every tap into
Absolutely.
Jules, Juliana Linder, on
Yeah,
Spotify.
she's amazing. Mhm.
I said favorite series, but right now you said you're binging The Dairy Girl, so we'll go
I
with that.
am. Mhm.
One piece of advice you would give your younger self?
Oh god, just stop taking everything so seriously.
Life's supposed to be fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
where and how can humans or non-humans in our in our community connect with you?
Oh god, where can anyone connect with you? Right here on the Facebook. You can find me on Facebook. You can communicate with me via email. You can communicate with me however you want, but probably Messenger. If you're seeing this on Facebook, Messenger is a good way to go.
Perfect. All right. Well, I know you have children to pick up.
I
Everybody wants to
do.
get off and running, but thank you so much. It's been so lovely.
Thank you. I love this. This uplifted my spirit so deeply, Deanna.
Thank
I
you.
love talking to you.
Oh, I know I love our chats. I'm not sure about this Thursday because here in the States, next week
Yeah,
is
it's
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
I may just go ahead and pop in an old a chat from 1.0 community chat. So
Why don't we do that so that you can
yeah,
just enjoy your family on Thursday?
yeah, I get to cook and host on Thursday. So
Yay! It's
yeah.
gonna be so fun.
So I will see you all live, not next Thursday, the 25th, but the following Thursday, which I don't even know what the date is. Oh, you know what? I might not even be live that day. I might have to do another one because I'm trying to do the Symphony of Cells. So
Oh,
physical.
okay.
So, but we'll figure it out. Thank you all. Elaine, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Tammy, you
absolutely.
Facebook users. It's been great. We will see you all soon.
All right. Love you all. Bye.